MMORPGs are funny things. They have the ability to put you in a vast world filled with thousands of other people, and you can play them almost infinitely without reaching the end. Their following is huge and vastly loyal. The experiences vary between Android MMORPGs quite a bit. Additionally, it can take some time before good MMORPGs really show their true colors. Thus, it also makes it somewhat difficult to stay up on the latest good ones. In any case, here are the best MMORPGs for Android. AdventureQuest 3D is a rapidly growing MMORPG. It features a lot of the same stuff that most MMORPGs have. You'll be able to quest a whole bunch, raid dungeons, create a character and more. Where AdventureQuest 3D really shines is its cross-platform support. You can play on mobile or PC in the same world with the same players. There is also support for multi-classing your characters, chat and other social engagement, and more. There are bugs present like most. However, they don't seem to be as egregious as other games. Arcane Legends has been around for a long time. Its longevity has made it one of the most successful MMORPGs out there. The game is pretty standard at its core. You'll have 3 classes to choose from, each with its own unique set of skills and abilities. There is co-op play as well as PvP modes, so you can play and engage with other players. It also includes various PvP formats to keep things interesting. The developers have done a good job of updating the game to keep content fresh. There are tons of things to do. It can get a little repetitive, though. Arcus Online has flown under the radar for most of its time in the Play Store. It strikes the usual chords as you can create your character, go questing, raid bosses with your friends, and even engage in PvP combat. Where this game really shines is the combat controls. You use simple one-tap attacks and skill releases that culminate in some fun, acrobatic attacks. The animations add a bit more eye candy to the mix. Most of the complaints around this one come from balance issues and pay-to-win mechanics in PvP. The rest of it seems to be pretty good. Black Desert Mobile is one of the newer Android MMORPGs. It boasts the usual MMORPG features, including a large open world, character customization, plenty of quests and missions to play, online social elements, and more. Players have a choice of 5 different classes, as well as a minor builder element with your camp. Of course, you also get the usual stuff like pets and mounts. This game seems to tick all of the boxes while having relatively few issues. It is absolutely possible to spend hundreds, if not thousands, of hours in the game. It's free to play like most mobile RPGs, but at least you can use Google Play points to earn free stuff. You can also earn Google Play points if you spend money in this game if that matters to you. Diablo Immortal is a bit different in the MMORPG space. There isn't as much multiplayer as some other MMOs, but you get a massive shared open world with other players. You take on a story from the Diablo world, complete with many characters from the franchise. You choose a character, play through missions and quests, and try to get stronger. The core gameplay is actually not half bad. It relies heavily on kiting rather than overpowering, but you can do both if you want to. The game is smooth, the graphics are decent, and there is plenty to do. The only real issue with Diablo Immortal are the in-app purchases. Due to luck, it can cost tens of thousands of dollars to max out your character. However, if you take the free-to-play method and grind it out, you can avoid almost all of that with time and a little luck. If you are the type to buy your way to the top, this game isn't for you. If you want a moderately decent MMORPG, this works. Dragon Raja is one of the most popular MMORPGs on mobile for good reason. It's enjoyable, it looks good, and it has some of the best character customizations in any mobile MMO. In terms of gameplay, it's a solid game. There are a ton of quests to do, a story to follow, strong social elements, and above-average graphics. Unlike most, this one blends fantasy elements with real-world locations, so it has a modern twist. It has a bit of a slow start, but gets going once you're properly introduced into the game world. It has in-app purchases, but they seem to be mostly cosmetics as far as we can tell. It's definitely good as long as the developer keeps the game properly updated. GrowStone Online is a retro-style MMORPG. We don't mean it acts like an old MMORPG. The graphics are 2D pixel art. It has most of the features of an MMORPG. That includes a vast world to explore, people to play with, many bad guys to kill, and much loot to collect. You can join clans and all of that jazz as well. It worked well in our testing. We didn't disconnect and the controls are easy enough to learn. It's a freemium game, but you kind of expect that in this genre. It's good for sure. Lineage 2. Revolution is one of the newer MMORPGs on mobile. It features some decent graphics, tons of content, and the usual array of mobile MMORPG stuff. It does have some unique stuff, though. That includes a 50 versus 50 Fortress Siege mode that is actually pretty epic when it works right. You can do the usual stuff like questing, joining guilds and clans, and more. It's a freemium game. Thus, it has a lot of the same issues as all of these other ones. However, it's not too bad for a few dozen hours of fun, as long as you don't mind a few bugs. You can also earn rewards with Google Play points for this title. New School RuneScape is, well, OSRS for mobile devices. This is one of the most interesting MMORPGs on Android. For starters, you can play it for free without any free-to-play elements. You can get even more content if you subscribe. Both of these are strikingly different from a freemium model that most MMORPGs use. The game also boasts hundreds of quests, a rich in-game economy, and plenty of other things to do. The subscription players also get a map with a ton of extra stuff. It works cross-platform, and the developers do an above-average job listening to players. The graphics are a little old school, but everything else about the game is good. This may be the best MMORPG on mobile right now, and a full mobile client is also available if you want better graphics with the gameplay. You can go with the old-school version or the full version. Both are pretty great. Perfect World Mobile doesn't have the highest download numbers, but it's a reasonably decent MMORPG. The game boasts above-average graphics for the genre, tons of things to do, and a large game world. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, so you have most of the MMORPG stuff like mounts, emotes, the ability to play with others, and mostly standard combat mechanics. It's been around for 13 years on PC, and while it's definitely not as expansive as the PC version, it's still pretty fun. Just watch out for the in-app purchases because they can get absurdly pricey. GrowStone Online is another one of those unique Android MMORPGs. You play as a 2D sprite. The game also takes place on a 2D map. It features 3 character classes that you can switch between at will. You'll also get an open world to explore, tons of quests, and more. The game offers a full range of multiplayer options, including PvP and co-op modes. It's a lighter, slightly refreshing take on the MMORPG genre. However, on the other side of that coin, this game isn't as deep as other MMORPGs. Alien is another one of the newer Android MMORPGs. It has a lot of the same stuff as other MMORPGs, including the large open world, tons of quests, massive cooperative and competitive battles, and online PvP. We did enjoy that this game has FPS-style PvP game modes such as Occupy where you capture a point and fire catapults at each other. Character customization is above average, and the stories and quests aren't amazing, but they aren't terrible either. This is an autoplay MMORPG, so players who dislike that should skip this. Additionally, the microtransaction strategy is very aggressive as of the time of this writing. You can still progress without them, but it takes longer. Toram Online is a favorite of our readership. There isn't a class system. Everyone is given skill trees that they can fill out as they see fit. You also have the ability to customize weapons and change their abilities. It adds up to being one of the more customizable MMORPGs that we've seen. The graphics and gameplay give it a Final Fantasy JRPG feeling. There is also a campaign mode with an option to play co-op. You won't find an MMORPG like this very often. It does have the occasional bug and connection issue, though. Just something to be aware of. Warsphere Online is one of those MMORPGs that have been around for a long time. As such, it's had a chance to expand its universe a lot. It currently comes with over 1,500 quests, 150 achievements, PvP with up to 5 versus 5 combat, 8 environments, and more. The character creation is also fairly expansive. You'll be able to choose between 4 classes, 2 alliances, and 12 character classes. You can even take up crafting to make your own gear. The in-app purchase strategy is also fairly aggressive in this title. World of Prandis isn't a new MMORPG. It's actually vastly popular on other platforms. Its mobile version is rather new, though. The game features simple 3D graphics, 2 regions to play through, PvP, raids, guilds, parties, and even a lover system. The game uses tribes instead of races, but they do include 3. There are also 6 total classes. We're calling our shot with this one. Its popularity on other platforms should help keep mobile developers going. Here's hoping this one turns out to be as good as we think it will be. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful.